Today, Polish President Andrzej Duda said that the stray missile parts that landed in Poland, killing 2 people, was not an intentional attack. Instead, Duda said it appears to be an unfortunate accident. Poland's president added that it was very likely that the explosion was caused by Ukrainian air defenses shooting down Russian missiles. And today, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg echoed Duda's comments. Stoltenberg also stressed that this is, quote, not Ukraine's fault. Also today, the White House released a statement by National Security Council spokesperson Adrian Watson. In the statement, Watson agreed with Poland's assessment of the explosion. Watson also said, quote, it is clear that the party ultimately responsible for this tragic incident is Russia, which launched a barrage of missiles on Ukraine specifically intended to target civilian infrastructure. Ukraine had and has every right to defend itself. And in a press briefing at the Pentagon, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley agreed with the White House statement. Former U.S. military representative to NATO, retired Brigadier General Blaine Holt joins me. Good evening, sir. And it was quite frightening at first, the thought that maybe Poland would get dragged into this if Russia in some way attacked Rome. So everybody was sort of quick to diffuse that. You know, it's so perilous, you know, with all this going on. So, Clay, what are your thoughts about what happened?
Well, good evening, Greta. You know, yesterday I would say we dodged a real bullet. This is the thing that we worry about when you get to these heightened tension states with global conflict is just takes a spark. It just takes a miscalculation and a spark, and suddenly that kindling is rolling. Yesterday, we were taking in all these reports. The next domino is President Zelensky says the Russians did it. There's going to be a big war. And then you get the Polish going into emergency session. NATO this morning, emergency session. Thank goodness, cooler heads prevailed. The intelligence came in, took a very good hard look at everything, and we didn't even go into a session at NATO to have an Article 4 or a threat against a nation consultation. And so I'm very, very thankful that the systems at NATO and the intelligence community came together to make sure that we had this in the proper context.
So who gets the credit for diffusing this pretty much? Is it NATO? I mean, that they did, you know, go off the sort of the deep end on this and not make a statement that was electrifying?
Yep, I would credit NATO here because U.S. European Command in Stuttgart, which is our U.S. forces there, in concert with NATO, come together and we do intelligence sharing. Well, when you have 30 nations intelligence sharing with the very high-end and sophisticated resources that they have, I was very confident that they could get to the right answer. At the same time, we were watching the political rhetoric heat up and the reporting heat up, and it was just very gratifying that the system worked the way the system is supposed to work to avoid miscalculation.
Okay, so that's quite impressive. Let me just deviate for a second. I mean, all those nations with all their intelligence moved so quickly, and we avoided the invocation of the Article 5. You know, great for that. Well, why is it now that we still don't know who sabotaged Nord Stream, the pipeline? Why, if everyone is so quick to be able to figure this one out, what's going on with that?
Well, that is curious. We've got 3 nations, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, I believe, if I remember correctly, that all say that they have an understanding through their own investigations as to who did this, but for, in their words, national security purposes, they're not going to release that information. And
what could be the justification? I mean, you know,
I don't see it.
Explain to me. You don't see it either. I mean, I don't get this one. I mean, somebody blew it up. Somebody sabotaged. Right. Everyone agrees that, and that's not why I brought you on to talk about that. But I mean, it is curious that we can figure out who's responsible for the 2 deaths in Poland. Yeah. You know, lickety split fast, but we can't figure this one out several months later.
I'm certain it's known. I am certain it's known. I don't know why it's not known to us, but I'm certain it's known, and I wish it was known to us. We need more transparency, not less.
All right. The fact that people at first jumped on Russia, Russia denied it. The Kremlin said, you know, we didn't fire that missile. I suppose that puts a little, you know, wind in Putin's sails a little bit that he's being falsely accused. I imagine that's sort of the downside of this, besides the obvious 2 deaths.
It is, from my military background, when the Russians went for that denial and we didn't see follow-on attacks that were more aggressively coming into the West, I was really pleased and understood that, okay, something has gone wrong here and we're going to get to the bottom of it, but the Russians don't want any part of this. And that immediate denial was the likely clue that we were gonna back this down. All
right, with Kherson now being recaptured, basically taken back by Ukraine and it being on the edge of Crimea. Do you see any possibility that Ukraine will reclaim Crimea that was taken in 2014 by the Russians?
I don't know. How long does the West and NATO have to hang in there to give the resources that Ukraine needs? We see a complete economic meltdown and collapse as a result of the sanctions and the loss of Russian commodities and oil and gas resources. And so is it a blank check? Is it an open-ended check? Certainly the Ukrainian army is valiant, but they're running low on their numbers. Their Czech Republic has to train forces at 15,000 a month, I think is what they've contracted for next month. And so this grind, to me, does not look like Ukraine is going to be on a track to go reclaim that. Moreover, it's probably going to be in the world's best interest to get folks to the negotiating table, whatever that's going to lead to try to get this thing to an off-ramp of some kind. Because just like we saw yesterday, tensions are way too high, and a bad miscalculation can get us to a far worse place than we are now.
We talk about cost, though. The Russians fired off about 100 missiles on Tuesday. Aren't they going to run out of money at some point?
They should. They seem to be getting money from somewhere, and they're also, in cooperation with Iran for certain. It does look like, and this is encouraging, that China and India have distanced themselves a little bit at the G20 from support of this, and maybe that's a forcing function to also get Russia to reconsider what their strategic options are.
Well, President Xi doesn't call it a war. I don't know what he calls it, but he refuses to use that word. General Blaine Holt, thank you very much.
Have a great night. Thank you.